There's a world without hope out there searching.
Sierra Leone is located on the west coast of Africa, sharing its borders with Guinea and Liberia. It is slightly smaller than the state of South Carolina, with a population estimated to be 6.2 million. Of those, 60% are Muslim, 30% practice indigenous beliefs, and only 10% are Christian. Sadly, 30 years ago, it was considered a Christian nation. However, like many of the African nations, since gaining independence, it has been constantly marred in economic and political turmoil, still struggling to recover from an 11-year civil war known for child soldiers, blood diamonds, and the ruthless killing of thousands of innocent victims. The United Nations places Sierra Leone as the third hardest country in the world in which to live. The two main political parties follow geographic and tribal divisions, and by their own admission, just don't like each other. The capital city of Freetown was established by the British, bringing former slaves from England, Jamaica, and the Americas. Those from Jamaica brought the language of Creole. It is the main language of Freetown, although it exists primarily as a spoken dialect, as most cannot read or write it. English is considered to be the national language, but only a literate minority use it on a regular basis. The average life expectancy is only 41 years. Although Sierra Leone has the fifth highest birth rate in the world, due to the extreme poverty and lack of proper health care, it has the second highest child mortality rate. 1/4 of all children born will not live to see their fifth birthday. Since the end of the war in 2002, there has been an explosion of ministries and cults. But true New Testament Bible-preaching churches are rare. What exists is a constant barrage of prosperity gospel, with nothing concerning the need of personal salvation, redemption, or remission of sin. Consequently, most of those professing to be Christian have never trusted Christ as their personal Lord and Savior. 2 Peter chapter 2, verses 1 and 2 says, "But there were false prophets also among the people, even as there shall be false teachers among you, who privately shall bring in damnable heresies, even denying the Lord that bought them, and bring upon themselves swift destruction. And many shall follow their pernicious ways, by reason of whom the way of truth shall be evil spoken of." Perhaps as many as half of these ministries have been established by Nigerians, who many of the Sierra Leoneans will tell you have come only to steal our money. Every church we visited would collect as many as 5 to 6 offerings with great ceremony to embarrass those who could not give. Since our arrival in Sierra Leone in June of 2008, God has allowed us to establish 4 churches. All of them are located on the west end of the Freetown Peninsula. Each have taken the name Extreme Vision Baptist Church, taken from Proverbs 29:18. The central work meets at our home in Lumley. We average 30 to 35 adults every Sunday, with 75 children attending children's church.
I lead children's church each week with a Bible lesson, followed by a very competitive question and answer game. We give the kids a quick refreshment and then try to give them an object lesson based on living a life pleasing to Jesus. Jacob Vonde serves as my interpreter and leads some very spirited children's choruses. Jacob, who is now 21, was our very first convert in 2008. He also is one of our top 3 students in the Bible Institute.
Brother Ibrahim Kone serves as the assistant pastor for our Lumley work. He has been a real godsend to our ministry. Raised in an orphanage, he had a strong Christian upbringing. He also served as a chorister for their traveling choir. Ibrahim is using his gift and love of music to build our music ministry now at Extreme Vision. However, he is a perfect example of the misguided Christianity of most Leonians. In church his whole life, receiving a baptism, and with vast amounts of Bible, yet no one had ever showed him God's simple plan of salvation. Upon being shown his need of accepting Jesus Christ, Ibrahim was gloriously saved in September, followed the Lord in believer's baptism, and has seen his wife Frances and his 2 oldest sons saved and baptized. Extreme Vision of Kaningo is led by Monty Joseph, also saved and baptized in our ministry. This church has seen steady growth, averaging 75 to 80 each Sunday. God has allowed us to build a permanent building there. They have a primary and secondary school. the only schools in their section of Canningo. All fly the Extreme Vision Baptist banner, furthering the gospel of Christ. The most isolated area in our valley is called Pentagon. There, Brother Joseph Tamba leads Extreme Vision Baptist Church of Pentagon. Despite having lost their meeting house on 4 different occasions, the church continues to grow. We currently have built a pole building with tarps and used tin for the walls and roof. The church has an option to buy the plot of land where they are meeting. Please pray with us for God to raise the funds to buy this plot and erect a permanent building. The youngest work is Extreme Vision Baptist Church of Oglethorpe. Joshua Sagba, converted from Islam and was baptized, leads this work. It is an area that is predominantly Muslim. Growth is slow but steady. Joshua's conversion led to his father to disown him and stopped his education. However, Islam's loss has been God's gain. Joshua has also started a Christian school for grades 1 through 3 and has the wisdom of one much older than his 23 years. In 2010, we had over 300 salvations and approximately 50 baptisms. We also showed the Jesus film twice, with many hands being raised making professions of faith. The Bible Institute was opened in October. 9 men are currently enrolled, faithfully completing classes. All 5 of the men who are active in the churches, plus 4 others, have completed 13 classes from October through April of this year.
Gifts from 2 supporting churches allowed us to share clothes, shoes, and toys with each of our churches at Christmas. Gifts of school supplies and books were shared with over 500 children in the 3 schools. I also was able to establish a book lending library for the main church at our house. Once a week, as many as 90 children come to take a book home, an ideal previously non-existent for these youth.
As we plan our return in early 2012, we need your prayers and support. Even though our level of monthly support has held since arriving in Sierra Leone, prices have not. The government added a 15% gross sales tax on all goods and services in January of 2010. That, coupled with inflation, has effectively reduced our level of funds by $1,100 per month. Even as we left in May, the government had announced that fuel was to increase from $4.20 per gallon to more than $6. Please pray that God will open doors and hearts to allow us to return to Sierra Leone and to continue to grow His work.